Hello everyone and welcome back to my channel. My name is Alina, I'm an author and I post videos on YouTube about books and writing, and most times I'm interrupted by this beautiful dog that just likes to come and help me out with my videos, let's say. It's not that he likes to interrupt me. What I wanted to talk to you about today is another marketing related thing because, well, I'm working on the final touches for the release day of Elixir Flight, and I thought I'd share with you a 10-step marketing checklist for your book release. Just the most important parts of your release day marketing that you shouldn't miss out on. This entails everything that should be happening around release day. It doesn't involve other pre-release prep steps that pertain to blog tours or things like that, or when you send arcs to your readers. This is just what you're not supposed to forget before your release day. So, the first and most important part of this is your newsletter for the release day. Ideally, you'd send it right on release day, but if there's something that prevents you from doing that, send it the next day at the latest. For most authors, their newsletter is one of their best selling and marketing tools, and it should not be neglected. Less so when we're talking about a new book being released. What that entails is not just your own newsletter, composing the text, maybe adding something extra for your subscribers, but also any kind of swaps you do with other authors. And what a newsletter swap entails is you promoting other authors' books in your newsletter and them promoting yours in theirs. This you should set out before release, and by release day make sure you've sent the relevant information and buy links to those who will help you with a swap, because otherwise it will be a fail. Next, do a blog post about it for your website or blog, whichever it is, but you should announce that you have a new book. If you run a website with a blog, make sure you write the blog post and also update your books pages. That would be really helpful. Please don't check out my website to see that, because I haven't done it in a while, because, well, I'm redesigning it and I want less information to move to the other theme, because that will work completely differently, so reasons. But yeah, update your bio if needed, update your My Books page, or coming soon, switch the books from there to new releases. Make sure everything on your website is ready to go. Then, social media posts. I recommend you get those ready, and do not just post on release day when the book is out. Make sure you plan out your post to just keep reminding people about it throughout the week. Make sure you post on your most frequently used social media. In my case, that would be Twitter, Instagram, and Facebook. And, well, YouTube, but that's a different realm, and I've made a completely different point on the checklist for it. But you also have to upload something on your least favorite social media. I always upload on Google+, for example, because that's good for search results. I also upload on LinkedIn sometimes, and Goodreads, my profile would just pick whatever I post on my blog, so that's taken care of. Make sure you've set up any giveaways you need. That would be step number 4. If you're running a rafflecopter that's on your website, or you run it through a blog tour, or you just run a small giveaway for your newsletter subscribers, make sure everything is set up, you've decided on the prices, you've created the giveaway code if you're using rafflecopter and you want that embedded in your blog post. You'll need to have that ready, and then make sure your release day materials like blog posts and social media posts and everything else announces those giveaways as well. Unless it's a newsletter only giveaway, then it will only make sense to add it to the newsletter itself. And I also recommend trying as often as you can to provide something extra for newsletter subscribers, because if you have fans that are so dedicated to you that they will join a special group like a street team or your newsletter, they should get a reward just because they're nice and helpful. Number 5, make sure you've updated the files for your other books. That, of course, only happens if you're a self-published author. Let's say you launch a new book in a series. You should update the files of the previous installments to reflect the fact that this book is out and they can keep reading. That's really important, especially for people who like to start series when you're already 2-3 books into publishing it. And it also helps for cross sales. Let's say someone goes and buys a different book of yours, and they should know what other options they have, especially if they're in the same genre. For example, at the end of my books, I make sure the first other books by me that I mention are in the same or related genres. For a sci-fi book, I will add my other sci-fis, and then fantasy, paranormal, and then right at the end contemporary, because those interest readers the least. When you're done updating all your book files, move on to step 6 on this checklist, which is an announcement for your ARC readers. So if you've sent advanced review copies to people who are supposed to read them and then publish their review on release day, it would be quite helpful to send out an email to them and say, look, here are the links where you can post our reviews. Hope you find that helpful. This works as both a helpful email for them because they know exactly where to go. Maybe when you send the ARCs, you didn't have a buy link ready for the book, so instead of them searching, they can just click on that link, and that's great. The other way this helps is that it reminds them, oh, it's release day, you should be, like posting that review. So otherwise, you're just betting on people who usually read quite a lot. Remember, that's precisely your release day. Number 7, and this is where I added a YouTube video if you have a channel, because I didn't want to lump this in with other social media, because a YouTube video takes a lot more to create than an update on Facebook, for example. So I usually have it separate on my checklist because I try to mix it with something fun like a tag or something else that I'm doing that's related to my book. I find that works better for me and for my viewers than to just say, oh, the book is out, there you go buy it. If I do a tag like I did for the Christmas book with the naughty list tag, you get a chance to find out more about the premise of the books, the characters, and maybe find it more enticing. Number 8 on the checklist, kits for other blogs. This can be very easy or very complicated. If you have other blogs who are going to post about your release, you should send a little kit to them with the book description, the buy links, maybe an excerpt, maybe some fun facts, maybe a playlist. If you're doing a blog tour, you might have already provided that for someone running your blog tour, or if you run it yourself, then you have to send this. Unless you have a pre-order set up, you will have to send this closer to release day because you need the links for them to buy, which without the pre-order you don't have. So this information will help bloggers create their blog post easier because you don't have to research. You will also make sure that no stand-in covers make it into the final blog post, because bloggers tend to go to Goodreads to get covers and those are not always updated. Just a reminder. You should send these kits even if you only send review copies to bloggers, because it helps them quite a lot. And then number 9 on your checklist, make sure you have your ads lined up if you're doing any of those. And by ads, I mean Amazon, Facebook, and paid newsletters. This is what I have on my list. I don't really do Facebook these days, but I think of integrating it. I do Amazon ads, and I also have a few paid newsletters that I usually advertise in. I took a long time to reach a conclusion about newsletters and find those that work for certain genres, and I rarely test new ones because I need something that works. The way I time this is that I would have my newsletter and every promotional thing I do on release day, and then have newsletters starting the next day, maybe going on for a week. For Amazon ads, because I do pre-order, I start ahead of time, but I always have ads ready to go on release day. Because if you have a good release day with lots of buys and lots of borrows in Kindle Unlimited, that will help you get a really high position in sales ranks and on category bestseller lists, and if the book is actually good and people enjoy it, it will stick there after you're done with your heavy marketing. And then the last item on my checklist is a quick Q&A. So what I mean is you have to think of a few questions bloggers or readers or people generally interested in your books would ask you immediately after release. It's good to have them at the ready in case they want to know more, like exact genres of the book or books that's similar with from your own backlist or other authors, when the next book in the series will be out or when your next book in a different series will be out. These are things that pop up whenever you have a book release, and if you think about them, you don't have to just scramble for answers when people send you emails or tweet you or send you private messages to ask. I find that especially for series or for people who are long-time readers, some questions show up at every release, and it's good to have them, to have the answers prepared for them. It saves you time and it saves you a lot of headaches, because release day can be stressful, and if you can minimize the stress for you, that's great. Well, that's it. Hope you've enjoyed this 10-step marketing checklist for your book release day. And if you did, do like and share this video and let me know what you thought down in the comments. I would like to know if you find this useful, if you have your own checklist that's different from mine, and if you want to suggest things to add to my own checklist, I'm always open to that. And if you haven't subscribed already, first of all, why not? I mean, I'm great and all. Please do so now, and maybe even turn on the notification bell. I hear it works sometimes, not always. And I will see you all again on Friday. And I said I was just working on the Elixir Flight release day, and that's what prompted me to do this video. That will happen on January 29, and up until then, the first book in the series, Angel's Feather, you can see it right here. I keep it in my background so that I suggest things to you. That's still on sale until then for 99 cents on all Amazon websites, and it's always free to read with Kindle Unlimited. So if you haven't checked the books out yet, maybe give them a chance. And yeah, that's it. I gotta run now. Bye!